So I went around Centurion, and when you study public management, because it's government jobs, you have to go drop off your CVs with that state 83 form, right?
Yeah.
And I was in a business park in Centurion, and I met one of the shareholders of this company, and they asked me, "What are you doing here? It's working hours. What are you doing walking around the business park?" And I told him, "No, I'm looking for a job." And he's like, "Okay, cool. What qualifications do you have?" And I told him, and he said to me, "You know what? We're actually looking for software testers."
Did you even know what was that?
No, I went and Googled and I was like, what? What testing? And then I actually went and Googled and I was like, oh, okay, I've never heard of this in my life. It is true. The benefits are great. It is true. You get free food every day. um,
Hi guys, welcome to the village. Today we have Naletsane, aka Nale, who is a senior test analyst in the banking industry, and she's been doing this for a period of 8 years. She holds a bachelor's degree in public management from the University of Johannesburg and an ISTQB Advanced Level certification. Guys, if you know a thing or two about software testing industry, you know this qualification, this certification is not a joke. And we're going to learn how she got her first opportunity just walking around a office park. That's how she got her first opportunity. She was not even looking to becoming a software tester or analyst. Let's welcome Naletsane, aka Nale, to the village. Hi Nale, how are you? Welcome to the village.
Hi, Bonnie. I'm good. Thanks. How are you?
Thank you. Thanks for coming here. The name of this segment is Tea with the Village. In case you are not aware, we are having tea with you. You sharing some insights about your career, which is something that I hardly see online. I don't know if it's just me, but I hardly see like test analyst, software testers on my timeline. But Nale, tell us, what happened after graduation?
Okay, no, thanks for having me, Bonnie, firstly. So after graduation, I graduated in 2015, but I completed my PMG degree in 2014. So January came, all my friends went back to school to do their honors. And I was sitting at home for a week, and I was like, yo, what am I going to do with my life? I can't find a job. And I started working in retail. So I was working at Toga Optical because I used to work with them on weekends when I was still a student. So I asked them if I can just get like contract work. So they gave me contract work there for about a year.
Mhm. Wow. Okay. And
So yeah.
then what happened next?
So after that, so I did PMG, right? And I used to drop off my CV, so I was off on Wednesdays. So I remember that time my boyfriend, well, he's my husband now, he gave me
Mhm.
money to go drop off my CVs, right? So I went around Centurion, and when you study public management, because it's government jobs, you have to go
Yes.
drop off your CVs with that state 83 form, right?
Yeah.
And I was in a business park in Centurion, and I met one of the shareholders of this company, and they asked me, "What are you doing here? It's working hours. What are you doing walking around the business park?" And I told them, "No, I'm looking for a job." And he's like, "Okay, cool. What qualifications do you have?" And I told him, and he said to me, "You know what? We're actually looking for software testers. If this is something you would like to do, please email me your CV, and then someone will call you from the company, right?" And I gave him my CV, but I was like, this guy, it's not gonna happen.
Uh-huh.
And then jiggy after that, I get an email and I'm invited to this interview with one of the shareholders also in that company.
Mhm.
And yeah, I went to this interview and I remember asking the lady that I want black tea and she gave me tea with milk, and because I was desperate for a job, I was like, I'm not even asking her for black tea. I'm gonna drink this tea with the milk.
Yeah.
And yeah, and first I thought, this can't be legit. What does this guy want from me? But yeah, when I got there, it was a proper interview with people. And that's how my testing career started. So they were like, we're looking for people, you're looking for a job, we can teach you if you're willing to learn. Let's go. And that's how my career started in testing.
Hey, Bo, what a rare. And guys, this is so rare, guys. Like, tell us in the comments. Like, even me, I was like, "Hey, Bongeg, this doesn't sound legit." But Nale,
I know.
I'm interested in knowing. Did you even have an idea when they say they're looking for software testers? Did you even know what was that?
No, I went and Googled and I was like, what? What testing? And then I actually went and Googled and I was like, oh, okay, I've never heard of this in my life. We all know IT, right? And we thought IT is, developers developing something. I never know that there's other people also behind the scenes in IT. So that was my first time hearing about software testing.
Okay. And I have two questions for you so that we have proper context, right? One, what type of job were you looking for in terms of public management? I'm going somewhere with this, but let's start there. You say you were looking for a job. What type of job were you looking for?
Look, Bonnie, when you're a graduate, you apply for anything. If you see that they have something in tourism and it's written PMG and it's your degree, you don't care if you're sweeping or you're doing admin or whatever. You're just like, I'm dropping off my CVs at that place. So I was just like, you know what? I need a job. And I had a net bank loan that my brother took out for me where I had to pay back the interest and he had to pay the loan. And I was like, you know what? My brother helped me. So I need to make sure I pay back this loan. So
Mm,
anything, as long as I just got a job.
wow. Okay. And then this company, what type of company was this? Like the company that gave you opportunity. Hi, company. Thank you for giving Nale the opportunity. What type of company was this?
So this company is called SpaceNet. They're based in Centurion and they do healthcare software testing. So they test for companies like the HPCSA. They make sure that if you put through your claim on discovery, the practitioners are able to claim correctly and claim for what they are looking for. Maybe you go into the doctor and they may need to make sure that they claimed that you came to the doctor, so they'll get their consultation fee or they'll get their medication money.
Okay, interesting. So, Nale, for someone who has no idea or of what we are talking about, can you share with us what's the difference between a software tester and an analyst? Is there a difference?
So it means different things in different companies, right? For some companies, it means different levels, right? They will start at there's a tester, which is probably the lowest level, and then you'll have a test analyst, which is the second level, and then you'll have the the testing
Mhm,
quality analyst, right, which would be the higher level, right? But in my
mhm,
company, I'm referred to as a tester, right? The person that does the work,
mhm,
I'm a tester, and then my job title is a test analyst, right? And then you get
mhm.
other companies where they'll give you a title of test analyst, and it means you will go through the requirements sit with the business team trying to figure out what they want. And then the tester will be the person that will go and do the actual work, right? They will go through your test plan, they will go through your requirements, and then test the functionality.
Mm, okay. Wow. So you are working here. I just want to understand what type of training did you receive? Did they send you somewhere to do some certification? So just tell us more, like when you got there, like were your first few weeks?
Okay. So when I got there the first few weeks, they took me through the systems. I met the developers. There was only developers at the time there. I met the developers and they showed me how their systems work. And then they asked me to start like learning what is a test case, how do you test. And my manager at the time is the one that taught me everything step by step, right? And the developers were also very helpful because I could go to them, they were across our building. I just walked to them and be like, please help me explain this and this to me. And then 6 months into the job there, a lady joined us and she was a business analyst. And she told us about the ISTQB certification, right? And then the company
Mm,
told me, we don't have a big budget, but we can pay for your certificate so you can go and write it. Yourself, but you need to do self study, right? And then I
mm,
did register for it and I studied. I can't remember how long exactly I took to study, but I took a long time because I was the first tester there writing the certificate for the first time. I couldn't fail. So I made sure that I passed it. And when you also Googled, a lot of people had said that they failed on the first try. And also, when I went into the venue to go write, we were sitting outside because I was there early and people told me, oh, this is my second time, this is my third time writing this, I failed it. So I was very scared, but luckily I did pass it on my first try. The exam is very difficult,
yeah.
you have to read questions, like all the answers look the same and they ask you stuff like and or, and you need to know what the difference is between and or. And you need to understand testing as well.
Mm,
So yeah, I think that was my first certificate that I wrote, and then I did my advanced level in 2020, because I had to. In the company that I used to work for, you have to write different exams for ISTQB to be able to be promoted to the next level. So then I
Right.
wrote my advanced one.
Wow, girl. Such an interesting and inspiring story. Please mention the name of the company again because, wow. Like, guys, there are good companies out there. There are good
Yeah.
companies out there. And sometimes I do mention like companies who are doing amazing stuff. And I do ask the audience, guys, how is your company treating you? Just let us know, and people will say all the nice things. So, guys, it's not that bad. Look at this company. Like, what's the name of the company, Nale?
The name of the company is SpaceNet, guys. Well, now they are, they have a big team of testers, a big team of BAs, a big team of developers. So yeah, guys, I don't think handout work anymore. So you have to now go look if they have availability.
Oh, so it's SpaceNet Group.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
yes.
Okay, I got it now. It's SpaceNet Group. Okay. Hi, company. No, I don't know if your manager is still there, but hi, manager. Thank you
Still
so
there,
much
she's
for
still there.
giving.
Still there.
She's still, is still there. Okay. She or he?
It's a she, she's still there. Yeah, she's a very good manager. She's still there.
Wow. Hi, manager. Thank you for giving Munale her first training. We love hearing stories like this. Guys, please don't forget to like and share this video. Leave any questions you might have for Unale. I know you have a lot of questions. Nale, I saw on your CV that your second job, you worked for one of the best companies to work for. It's the Rivco. The Rivco, they're our friends of the village. They know I always give them a shout out because people from the tech industry, they have good things to say about this company. So how did that opportunity come about? And I know they are very strict. The salaries are good there, the benefits are good there, the environment is good, but I hear Guti, not everyone can just go and work at the Rivco. How did that opportunity come for you?
Yo, Bonnie, I think it's God. Hey, I think honestly speaking, my whole career has just been God. So someone messaged me on LinkedIn, a recruiter, and she was like, would you be willing to relocate to Durban? There's a testing
Mhm.
position there. At a company called Derivco, and I was like, "Yo, is this the legit?" And I was still at SpaceNet, so I went to the developers and I asked them, guys, Derivco? And they were like, Derivco, they want you, and I'm like, yes, this is legit. And the guy was like, girl, say yes, just say yes. They'll give you free food every day. Just say yes. So yeah, I got the job through a recruiter. Um, so I went to my first interview with them. It was online, and then my second interview with them, they booked me a flight to go to Durban. So it was my first time
Mhm.
on a plane. Was terrified flying. First interview, now meeting these people. So yeah, I was scared. Luckily my flight was a bit delayed, so I was late for my interview.
Mhm.
So we just got there. They showed me the company. They introduced me to the team. And they didn't really ask me a lot of questions. I guess it was just like a meet and greet before they gave me my offer. And then
Mhm.
they gave me the offer. It is true, the benefits are great. It is true, you get free food every day. um, so yeah, I was there up until 2020.
How did you find Durban for you?
Yo, I think Durban is very different to Joburg. It's like people like let's go out now and you go out now. Whereas in Durban you have to book people in like, 3 weeks, can we go out? So I feel like life is very fast there. I used to live in Mhlanga there, so I was
Mhm.
like very close to work. So I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna go live in a place that I don't know that's too far from work. So I think everything was great. The people there
Mhm.
are people, so yeah, I enjoyed my time there.
You enjoyed your time. Fantastic. Nale, which school, high school, did you go to?
I went to School Aldurain. It is in Centurion.
Centurion. Oh, okay. And how was your math? I have to ask this question because there's this myth that people who work in the technology industry, they need, their maths needs to be. So I'm always curious. I always love to know.
I didn't do pure maths. First of all, I did math lit. Um,
Okay. Oh,
So
yeah. Even better. I love this answer. Even better. Okay, so
so
you did math lit.
yeah, I think I wasn't one of those smart kids. I was just, a hard worker. I had to work hard, to get my marks. So I did math
But
lit.
look at you.
Thank you. I did computer science and IT in grade 8 and grade 9, and that's when I knew IT was not for me. Because we had to build watch rolling into the screen for one of our exams using HTML. And yeah, mine didn't
Mhm.
even make it way through the screen, so I didn't think I'll be nice.
You
Yeah.
know what? I love that you mentioned this about your experience with computer science and IT while we were in high school, because most people they get turned off by the technology industry because they think, oh, I need to do coding. I need, so look at you now, like what you've achieved. That exam, I know software testers and analysts that don't have that certificate. They still
Mhm.
they are working, but they don't have that certificate because that certificate, girl, it chows. Chows, you know. So
Yeah.
it's so beautiful to see how things have turned out for you, And look, you would have thought, no, a technology is not for me. Like you've just said it now. But look at you, guys, there are so many opportunities within the industry that are
Mm.
not coding heavy, or they don't even need a coding. Nale, do you need to know any coding language for your position, what you are currently doing?
No. So I'm a manual tester, right? We have manual testing
Sure.
and we have tool testing, right? Okay, so for my position, I don't need to understand or know any coding, right? I'm a software tester and I'm a senior tester in my team. But if you want to be an automation tester, you should be able to know and understand coding, right? In my team, they use Java. So you need to be able to write and understand Java because you write scripts that will actually automate for you. So it will run the test for you and tell you if it passed or failed, right? It is
Mhm.
advisable to be able to do manual and automation testing because most positions now require both the skill. But for me, I have spoken to my manager. I've tried to automate. I found it boring because I just sat there. I didn't have to test. I just sat and waited for it to automate and tell me, is it a pass or is it a fail? My career is now moving to a different direction where I want to
Mm.
become a system analyst.
Oh, okay. So you're currently busy with that, and you feel like, okay, you don't really need to learn automation because that's not where you are going. Okay. No, I understand. Where do we start? What's the first step? I know your journey was different. Okay, so whatever like advice you're going to give us, there are things that maybe worked for you back then. It was 2015, am I correct? Was it
20,
2015?
so that's 2018. Yeah, 2018.
2018, right. So things might be different from when you got started in 2018, but I know there are things that you still think, you know what, this is still relevant. So for someone who like to get started, where can I start?
Okay, so I think for me, this is always like a difficult question to answer. A lot of people DM me and be like, Nale, I want to transition from, I'm in finance, now I want to be a tester, right? I don't think I have the
Mm,
correct answers, right? I always tell them traditionally you have to have a IT degree. That's what they want for the internships, learnership. They'll
mm,
ask you, do you have an IT diploma, IT degree, right? And
mm,
then people need to remember, even if you go and write your ISTQB exam, now maybe you work in a different uh, industry. The ISTQB exam doesn't guarantee you a software testing job, right? Because if you're competing
mm,
with someone that did IT and you have ISTQB, they would prefer to take the person with the degree, right? Because they're gonna
mm,
teach them and they would be able to get the ICQB, right? But I know
mm,
in my team where I'm currently working, we give people an opportunity that works in our company,
mm,
right? There's a lady that joined us just a few months back. So she was in desktop support, right? While she was there, she asked the
mm,
manager, can I help out testing in another team? And then she did her ICQB exam all by herself, right? So sometimes if
mm,
even if you test that, but if you could show in interviews that I've actually tried and I'm putting in everything to make sure that I end up in the IT industry or being a software tester, right? Um, if you have an IT department in your company, ask them, how do I become a
mm,
tester? Is there anything I can do? Can I help you guys on the side? Don't you should do in after work that will upskill you to become a software tester, right? But I would say if you start in high school and you want to get into the industry the correct way or the traditional way, go and study your IT degrees, your IT diplomas. Um, with that, people normally, if you have an internship in one of these big companies, you'd be able to rotate within the company. With that diplomas, you can normally either become a dev, or you can become a BA, or you can become a software testing, just depending on what you enjoy or what you want to do. So yeah, those would be my advice to people that want to be software testers.
Yeah, and for those, but for those, because majority of my audience is people who already have jobs, who are like you, who have other degrees, But
Yeah.
I'm happy that you answered, because yeah, of course, if you're in high school, for everyone, that's where you must start. You must start with your diploma or your degree. But for
Mhm.
people who have a similar background to yours, because I know there are certifications online, not just this one, like there are other ones, not just these ones,
Yeah.
so I was hoping maybe we can go there for those who have a similar background, because most people have degrees. You know what's going on, like in our country, they have degrees but they are not able to get jobs, and they might watch this and get some ideas. So are there any courses that you can recommend? But now I can also recommend them, guys, in the description box, because as I've said earlier, Nale's path has been different, because most people, they'll just tell you, no, I did courses on Udemy. I did courses on Udemy, or I did courses on Coursera, but yeah, can you just add to that someone who has a degree but in something else?
So I think for those people that have degrees, I would I would tell them that they would rather get hands-on experience, right? So testing, even in the interviews, right? We ask you questions to see how you think and how you would analyze things, right? Firstly, you need to be an analytical thinker, right? You need to be able to think like a user, right? So I know for Dave, there's that you guys can look on LinkedIn. There's that company called Girl Code, right? They go and they help ladies to be able to become developers, right? But I haven't seen anything like that in the industry that would give software testing hands-on experience to be able to go and start being software testers, right? Normally in the software testing space, it will be easier to have someone that already have a little bit of experience, right? Because sometimes working on big products, training people on big projects would be very difficult, right? So if you're working for a company that is the IT department, please make sure reach out to people. If you see people on TikTok posting that I'm a test manager or something, reach out to them. Try to understand how would you be able to get into their teams, right? Because I know in my team, we upskill people within our company, right? So it would be difficult to get someone from the outside and upskill them, not knowing if they're going to work for our company, because we can't share company IP, right? Because a lot of people ask me, would you be able to mentor me? But I think it would be risky on my side to be able to show you our software and things we do, because I cannot share company IP with you guys. So for software testing, I don't think it's an easy way. It just depends on if somebody willing to give you an opportunity. But if you want to become a developer, please start to Go Code.
Yeah. There are platforms where software testers can get like do projects, and most of them are even paid platforms. It's just that I don't have them with me now, but I'll have them by the time I edit this video. I'll put the names. So there are
Okay.
platforms where people, once they've done their courses, they can log in and sign up there. It's sort of like a freelance platform where people can freelance, like you can take on projects, do whatever, and then you get paid a few dollars or something. So there are platforms like those. I just don't have them here with me right now. But I get your point, Guti, when you can't train someone because you can't give your company IP to people, it's not gonna be easy. But I'm
Yeah.
sure you get that request a lot. Like people are always asking you, But guys, take
I wish I
Nale's
could get
advice.
but I can't.
Take Nale's advice. If there is, this is the advice, guys, that I really want you to take from her. If there's an IT department where you are already working, go and tell them if you're interested in testing. It's always easier vele if usuvele ungaphakathi than to take someone from outside. It's not going to be easy in that one. And also, people shouldn't forget or neglect freelance work where you can approach small companies, like smallware software companies.
Mhm.
You can like approach those people because bona, it's not the big companies, so the risk is a bit lower compared to trying to get a job at a big bank or a big insurance company. We just need to be realistic. Oh, last words for upcoming testers, and how can they use AI? Because like we can't leave this conversation without talking about AI because it's the new buzzword. And I know a lot of people in the industry, like the technology industry, like this, oh my God, what's going to happen? Are we going to lose our jobs? Let's start with the advice for the upcoming testers, and then what do you think of AI or how they can use AI?
Okay, so for upcoming software testers, I would say that upskill yourself as much as you can, right? Read articles, go onto LinkedIn. There's people that post articles daily. Go and now that we have AI, go and ask AI what is software testing, how should I test? It can also help you to create test cases, right? It wouldn't be 100% what you would require, but you can just get an idea and understand, what is a test plan? What is regression testing? What is retesting, right? Maybe if you doing your ISTQB and you don't understand stuff, go ask AI to help you,
Mm-hmm.
understanding stuff like white box testing. Um, and just understanding that you need to be analytic when you're a tester. You need to be able to think like a user, right? Just because the BA gave you a requirement and said this is how the system should work doesn't mean that that's the path you need to take when you're testing. You need to make sure you do your negative testing. Users, they just do things, on production. So you can't just say, I'm just gonna click here, click around on the page, try and break things. And also don't fight developers. Remember, the system is their baby. So yeah, I think don't take anything personal, Um, the testing team, gets a lot of, hiding. Because if there's
You
a live
okay?
bug, who do they ask?
Yeah.
The software test, was this tested? How was this missed? For some companies they take it like, very serious. You have to write a root cause analysis to say why you missed this, how you're going to improve, to make sure that you don't miss this requirement in the future. But other companies, honestly, they take it just as a learning curve, to be like, in the future, just make sure you do 1, 2, 3. But yeah, software testing, guys, it's a nice job to do. There's a lot of opportunity growth, if you've been a tester for many years and you feel like, you know what, actually, I don't want to do this anymore. There's other opportunities. You can become a BA, you can become a Scrum Master. If you like coding, there's a lot of our testers that are now upskilling. They want to become developers, they want to become automators. So there's a lot of opportunity in the IT industry.
Yeah, I love the point about don't fight devs. um, but in terms of work-life balance, I hardly ask this question because most people that I'm interviewing, it's either they are male or they are much younger. They just finished school. They don't even have kids. But if I'm speaking to someone that I know has a child, like has a family, I'm interested in understanding the work-life balance. Is it like those type of jobs where you don't sleep? You are taking your work home. How is it in terms of work-life balance?
No, so guys, I think for the company that I work for now, I'm in the banking industry now. Before this company, I used to move jobs a lot, and I think this is the company that I've been at the longest, right? So I think the treatment here is very good. There's a lot of work-life balance. You get the opportunity if you need to go watch your child swim or you need to go pick up your child, you do have that flexibility, right? We need to go in twice a week at any of our offices, the one that's nearest to your house. And then they don't choose our days as long as you went in twice that week, right? So if you feel like I'm gonna go on a Monday and Tuesday because I have other things, during the week where I need to go pick up my child, you'll be able to do that. You are able to excuse yourself from meetings. You are able to go and support your family. They're very supportive team, and also everything is planned. You know exactly when you're working overtime. We release every second week, and you know who's in the roster. And if you have stuff to do, you're able to ask your teammates, "Can you please stand in for me? I have something to do." And also on the other hand, my husband is very supportive. So I am able to do my stuff. If I need him to take care of the child and I'm doing overtime, he helps me with that. And if he's got things to do at work, I need to go and pick up the child, I do that. So I think it's a very healthy work environment, where if you have issues, you know you can speak to the team. And here we make sure if it's log of time, it is log of time. um, Most of us here have families. So yeah, you don't have to do like crazy overtime or do things where they tell you like now you're gonna work overtime tonight. So everything is planned, and I think we do have a great work-life balance where I work.
No, it sounds like a good plan. And Nale, I hope to see you soon once you've moved and settled like in your new plans. Maybe that will be in 2 years' time. I don't know. I'll still be here. But guys, please leave any questions you might have for Unale and some words of encouragement. But she's moving now from where she is. She's moving to other things. You said you want to be a systems analyst, right?
Yeah, so system analyst, so we have business analysts, right? So they write the business requirements, and the system analysts write the technical requirements, right? So I work for a bank, but we work for another bank that's within our bank, right? So they have BAs that would say, this is actually what we want. And then our system analyst will go and actually go and analyze it and say, okay, cool. This is how our system would integrate with your system, and this is how we need to do it, right? So the BAs would have the high level, this is how we want, and then the system analyst will bring in the technical side of it.
Sounds interesting. We'll see you soon. We'll see you soon, and thanks a lot for making time to have this tea with us. I know you guys at home you'll appreciate this. Nale, bye to the village.
Thanks for having me, Bonnie. Bye to the village.
Bye.
Bye.
Wow, what a story! What a story. Guys, you know me, I always advocate for software testing. I've been talking about it, that it's one of the qualifications or professions that I think people are sleeping on. Everyone be wanting to be a software dev and not looking at software testing. I've spoken about it in detail. I'm going to leave videos where I was speaking about it in detail. I've also interviewed someone who got into the space straight out of matric, though I don't recommend it. You need to get your diploma and your degrees. But yeah, I've interviewed someone who got into the industry straight out of matric. That video is also going to be in the description box. There are places where you can test your skills. I'm going to leave one of them in the description box as well. And if you would like to be part of the Get Into the Tech Industry group, a community group, you can check out the guide. It's there in the description box. It's about $19. Once a month, I bring professionals from software testing, software engineering, digital marketing, data analytics, and cloud engineering. And now I'm going to bring cybersecurity as well. As much as cybersecurity is not part of the guide, but I've noticed the interest from people who are part of this community that they want to see a guest from cybersecurity, and that's coming through soon with that guide. Do check out that information in the description box and everything else that we've discussed in this video. Otherwise, I'll see you on the next one. Please don't forget to subscribe. Bye.